Alright, so I'm going to be doing a quick repair on my 2010 Ford Fusion today. So I was having issues with it a few months ago. It was acting kind of erratic. I'd be on the interstate, the maintenance light would come on, I would lose power, the car would still run and everything, but it was just underpowered. And then sometimes it would run rough. It would almost kind of mimic transmission problems sometimes. And it actually, coming up to stop signs, died on me a couple times. I never really had major issues with it running rough, but I did a lot of research into it, and so there's a common problem with this model year Ford Fusion that has issues with the throttle body. Mine's a 2010. I think it can affect pretty much any model in the year range of this body style, because I've read several that had issues that were different years, like 2011, 2009, so I think it can affect just about any of this model type. So I'm going to be putting a throttle body on this. A shop told me they wanted $600 to put a throttle body on. Ended up researching, found one for like 99 bucks. So ordered that. I'm going to put it on. Hopefully it's going to clear up the issues. The issue with this throttle body can kind of be weird because I had issues with it months ago. I ordered the throttle body. After I ordered the throttle body, the issues just went away. I haven't had issues for months and months, no issues. And then all of a sudden, yesterday, I'm driving around, had to drive 2 hours away from home to run a sales call, and the thing acted up on me all day. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this throttle body on. I'll show you guys how it's done. I've never done this, so we might run into a couple things that we got to figure out together. So I'm going to flip you around, show you the throttle body. Okay, so here's the engine compartment. You open it up. Here's where your air filter goes in. Okay, it's on the right side of the car. Okay, the driver's side of the car. So if you just follow this back, here's your throttle body. Okay, seems pretty straightforward overall. You're gonna have to undo this clamp right here, pull this air hose off here. This throttle body has 4 mounting bolts. You can see the top 2, but there are 2 underneath that air hose that you're going to have to disconnect as well. And then there is a connection right here on the throttle body that you're going to have to disconnect. So I think it's pretty much just undo this air hose. Now there is a connection here on the air hose. We may have to disconnect that in order to get the air hose out of the way to replace the throttle body. We'll see if we need to do that. But I'm going to loosen up this clamp. I'm going to pull that off. Okay, so that clamp is loose. So I'm going to kind of move that back. I don't know that I even need to take that connection loose right there. We'll see. Over here is this little connection on the throttle body. I think you're gonna have to, there's a little red tab on the side. I might have to get a screwdriver. Oh no, it popped off. So you're gonna undo that. You're gonna pull that little red tab back to kind of unlock it. I'm gonna try and wiggle this off here. Sometimes these things can be pretty stiff. I'm actually gonna get little pair of pliers to pull that off there. Okay, got myself some pliers. Let's see if this make it a little bit easier to get that off there. Be careful not to break anything. There we go. Okay, so that is disconnected. Look inside of there. Kind of make sure those terminals aren't corroded. These look really good. So now I'm going to undo the 4 mounting bolts. See if I can get to the ones underneath here. Might have to just get a so I kind of have to push that air hose out of the way. Okay, so that one's loose. That one's loose. That one's loose. I think I'm gonna have to This is just a little too long to fit up in there, so I'm going to get a regular ratchet to get that last one. There we go, just got like a little regular 1/4 inch ratchet. See if that's, there we go, I've got it loose enough to unscrew it with my fingers. Sorry, trying to hold the camera's a little tough. Okay, so almost got that off there. There we go. There you go. There is the old throttle body. Stick it out here in the light. It's kind of hot because I was actually just driving the car. So there we go. See just a little bit of buildup inside of there. Nothing terrible. Doesn't really look too bad, to be honest, but I will actually probably clean this thing up and keep it. But for now, I'm going to just throw that new one on there. Okay, so one thing you are going to want to do is there's a gasket right here. So you're going to want to probably pull that gasket out of there and just make sure it's clean. If it's dry rotted or stiff or cracked, you're going to want to replace it. And then just make sure there's nothing down in the inside of here, no debris or anything. You don't want anything getting inside the fuel system. So that looks pretty good. Let's see if I can just get this gasket out of here with my fingers. I don't know if I can. I can get something to pull that out of there. Okay, just got a tiny little flat head, but I'm gonna be real careful so I don't damage it. So, got it out of there a little bit. Now let's see if I can grab it. There we go. Okay, so there's the gasket. Still seems pliable. You want to make sure that, you know, it can still kind of move around, it's pliable, and that when you do stuff like this, it's not going to crack and break, because that's not going to create a seal. I'm going to grab a rag. I'm going to wipe this thing off, and I'm going to wipe off up in there where it goes in. I'm going to wipe just all this off right here too, just to make sure there's a good seal created when I put that new throttle body on there. Okay, so here's my new throttle body. Ordered this off of Amazon or eBay. Honestly, I can't remember because it was months ago. But I'll go back and look, and I'll put a link in the description if any of you guys need one. So it looks good and clean. Hoping it works good. From what I remember, it had good reviews. But like I say, this was months ago. I typically don't order something if it's got bad reviews. So you're just going to put this back on there the same way you took the other one off, right? Just going to mount in there. Make sure you have that connector facing towards the passenger side of the car. If you have it flipped over like this, it's not going to work. The funny thing about it is you might be able to actually get it mounted like that, but it's obviously not going to work because your connector's on the wrong side. So we're going to get this thing mounted. You've got to take the bolts off the other one. In here, get position, and I'm just going to kind so I got those just barely finger tight, and now I'm going to get in there and just tighten them up good and snug. These don't have to be crazy tight. I think technically they are supposed to be like 80 inch-pounds, but I don't have a torque wrench. Well, I do, but it's not working right. So I'm just gonna guess. You just want to try and make sure it's tight enough. You don't want to break anything off. You don't want to strip the bolts in there. And you want to make sure it's tight enough for that to create a seal down there where that gasket is, so there's no air leakage or anything like that. Okay, got those on. So now I'm just going to reconnect this electrical connector, throttle body. Make sure that's on there good and tight. I'm going to push that red tab back in to lock that connector in place. Put my air hose back on here to where it bottoms out. There's a little ring. You'll know when it's on there far enough because it'll stop. There's a spot on the throttle body that'll stop it from going back any further. And I'm gonna tighten that air hose back up. Okay, so the air hose is tight, and that really should be it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump in the car. I'm going to get it fired up. Okay, so I'm in the car, about to fire it up. Start it up okay. Walk around here. Everything looks good. So far so good. Looks like everything worked fine. I'm going to go ahead and just take it out for a quick test drive, make sure everything's running okay, and I don't get that weird maintenance light on. Now my check engine light is still on the dash. I like run to AutoZone or someplace like that and have them turn it off. I don't have a scan tool where I can turn that off. But once they turn that off, it should stay off because it was throwing an error that involved the throttle system, which was the throttle body. So only reason I do stuff like this, saves me some money, super easy repair. Shop wanted $600 to do that for me. You know, I got the throttle body for right at $100. So it was literally, if I hadn't been trying to shoot video or anything, it probably would have taken me 10 minutes to put a new throttle body on this thing. I'll knock out little repairs like this all day if it can save me $500. I don't do all the work to my vehicles, obviously. Some of the stuff just, you know, more than I want to try and tackle. I don't have a full shop. I don't have a lift. And sometimes it just makes a lot of sense to pay a professional who really knows what they're doing and has the right tools to do stuff for you. But when you can do stuff like this in 10 minutes and it saves you $500, it makes a lot of sense. If you got any use out of this video, like it. And I'll always be posting DIY videos for people. Alright, have a good one, y'all.